American Top 40.
Here is the first of 9 British acts on American Top 40 this week, debuting at number 35, Leo Sayer. The title of this song is Long Tall Glasses, I Can Dance.
I was traveling down the
Leo Sayer on American Top 40, the man who wrote and had in England a #1 hit record with the song The Show Must Go On. Of course, that was a big hit for Three Dog Night in the USA. His name, Leo Sayer. He makes the chart at number 35, first week on, with Long Tall Glasses, I Can Dance.
The hits from coast to coast. American Top 40.
Well, now I have the song by the Englishman who believes his luckiest break was when a member of his audience broke a chair over his head. The artist, Leo Sayer. And back in '65, he was touring the U.S. Army bases in England, singing and dancing and playing his harmonica. Now, at the time, blues and soul music were his specialty, and he thought he was pretty good. In fact, when soul singer Arthur Connolly had to cancel out of a performance at a base in Norfolk County, Leo was asked to fill in for him. But the American soldiers who made up the audience that night weren't ready for the switch. And when this funny-looking 5'2" English teenager came on stage and tried to scream the blues at them, they wouldn't buy it. And one guy in the front row was really rude about it. He picked up his chair and smashed it over the young singer's head. Well, of course it hurt, and he still has a bump. But Leo told us he wasn't seriously injured, and the incident, he says, really helped his career. It made him realize that soul music was not his thing. Since then, his singing style has been the Sayer style. And for Leo, it works great. His latest hit moves up to number 28 this week. It's You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. Leo Sayer, and another song in this hour produced by Richard Perry on American Top 40. At number 28, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing.
American Top 40.
Well, it's time now for the former #1 song that was completely forgotten about by the man who sings it. His name is Leo Sayer, and here's the story behind his big hit. Last February, he was in a recording studio in Los Angeles with his producer, Richard Perry. And during a break in the session, Leo wandered over to chat with some of the musicians. During the conversation, he began humming a melody that popped into his head. And as a joke, singing in a high falsetto voice, he began making up words to the tune as he went along. The other musicians took the cue and joined in for an impromptu jam session. Meanwhile, out in the control booth, smart producer Richard Perry signaled the engineer to turn on the tape machines and record that jam. But Richard didn't tell Leo or the musicians what he was doing. And after it was over, everyone except Richard Perry forgot all about that spur-of-the-moment song. Then, 3 months later, after Leo returned from a long concert tour, his producer hauled out the tape and played it for him. Leo was stunned and said, "Hey, I don't even remember singing that song." But Richard said, "Don't worry, this is a #1 song." So they polished it up, recorded it for real, released it, and Mr. Perry was absolutely right. 4 weeks ago, that was the most popular song in America. This week, that former #1 record is the number 19 for Leo Sayer, and it's You Make Me Feel Like Dancing.
You got a cute way like dancing. I wanna dance my life away. You make me
Leo Sayer on American Top 40 at number 19 this week, falling 4 notches with You Make Me Feel Like Dancing.
The hits from coast to coast.
This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood, and now I have the hit by the English singing star who was once a successful commercial illustrator and got sidetracked into music by a nervous breakdown. When Leo Sayer finished high school at the age of 16, his ambition was to become a portrait painter. He went to art college to study painting, but his teachers and his parents steered him into commercial art. They said he could earn a better living at that instead of struggling as a painter. So, after graduation, he moved to London and became a commercial illustrator. Leo did very well for a couple of years, illustrating for magazines and advertising agencies. But the workload that came with that success got to be more than he could handle. Not physically, but emotionally, because he wasn't doing what he really wanted to do, and that was to paint portraits. Suddenly, he couldn't work anymore, couldn't do anything. Diagnosis, nervous breakdown. He had to quit the illustrating business, went back to his hometown on England's southern seacoast to get his head together. Now, as therapy, Leo began writing. At first, poems, then short stories. But he'd always loved music, so he started writing songs and playing the harmonica. And the path he took from that point to his present status as a popular recording star is a whole other story. But it wouldn't have happened if Leo Sayer had been allowed to paint what he wanted to. His latest hit, at number 38 this week, is Thunder in My Heart. Leo Sayer at number 38 in the countdown, second week in a row with Thunder in My Heart. At number 37 with the second part.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
This is Casey Kasem on American Top 40 in Hollywood. Well, now we're up to the latest hit by the singer who risked life and limb for his art. This is how recording star Leo Sayer describes his initiation into the brotherhood of professional singers. In his late teens, Leo was so anxious to become a singer that when he saw a band performing, if he thought their lead singer wasn't any good, he'd jump on stage, grab the mic away from him, and finish the song himself. Well, the bands would usually keep on playing so the show wouldn't be totally disrupted. But just as soon as the set was over, the band members would drag poor little Leo out to the alley and, in his own words, beat the hell out of him. Well, the fact that Leo Sayer kept on putting himself in that situation just goes to show how determined he was to make it as a singer. And all those lumps he took sure have paid off. His hit records include 2 number ones, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing and When I Need You. And here at number 29 is his latest run of the charts. Leaping on stage and grabbing the microphone, here's Leo Sayer. There's a record that got as high as number 2 and stayed there for 4 weeks. This week, at number 29 in our countdown, Leo Sayer with More Than I Can Say, as the countdown rolls on.
American Top 40.
You know, back in 1974, the supergroup Three Dog Night went to number 4 with a song called The Show Must Go On. And did they make the songwriter angry? It was a song that played off the show business tradition that no matter what, the show just can't be stopped. Parts of the lyric go, I've been used, but I must let the show go on.
Must let the show go on.
Must let the show go on. That shows a good positive attitude, but it's not the attitude the songwriter was trying to convey. The man who wrote that lyric, singer-songwriter Leo Sayer, says he was very unhappy about a single word that Three Dog Night changed in the lyric of his song because it completely changed the meaning of that song. Just listen to Leo Sayer singing that same line as Three Dog Night just sang.
But I won't let the show go on.
Where Three Dog Night sang, I must let the show go on, Leo Sayer wrote and sang, I won't let the show go on. While Three Dog Night is saying that they've been taken advantage of, but they'll carry on just the same, Leo Sayer is saying that he's been taken advantage of and he won't stand for it. And that's quite a difference. But there was nothing Leo Sayer could do about the change made to his song, though in the interest of equal time, I should say he did take his version to number 1 in England. This week, Leo Sayer is at number 36 in our countdown with his latest American single. It's Living in a Fantasy. Leo Sayer falling from 23 to 36 with Living in a Fantasy as the countdown continues.